Would you look at that vicious vixen? Hmm. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Hobson from England. Yeah, she's going to come on one of these days. I know. She keeps blowing me off. It's like, excuse me, hamster. I just don't have time for you. That's a terrible accent, but what the hell? Why are you here, hamster? Because I don't want to do the work that I have to do. Okay. And it's fun. So I like being on the air because I did it for 15, 20 years. It's fun. Okay, Lizzie, what do you got? Speak on Speaker's Corner.
I am woman. Hear me roar.
In numbers too big to ignore. Do. I have a big copyright strike.
But wait.
Yes.
Before
There's more.
Hear me, you should understand that there may be consequences. Maybe you'll be defamed. Maybe you'll be drenched in milkshake.
That's right. That was the milkshake thing. Yeah, back in the day. I mean, how stupid are we as humans? You know what? I'm going to protest. I'm going to get a milkshake and throw it at someone. Oh my God. I mean, why would you waste 99 cents on a milkshake and throw it at someone? I mean, if you're going to have a milkshake, have a milkshake. Hamster, why don't you buy a bunch of beer and throw it at people? No. I'm going to drink the beer because me likey.
Maybe you and your children will be harassed and assaulted. These things may come to pass if you are so deplorable as to hear this woman speak.
I know, right? Oh my God, she's not a fembot. Oh my God, no, we can't have that. No, we got to ban her, arrest her or something, throw her in jail, throw her in the Tower of London, right? Lake. If the women's aren't of the hive mind of the fembots, you gotta silence them, cancel them, would you? No, of course. I mean, that's why have an argument against what they say when you can just shut them up? Welcome to cancel culture.
These punishments visited upon you won't come from the mythical patriarchy that we're told once.
I mean, Elizabeth, the patriarchy oppresses all, even men. That's why we should all be feminists. Because of that reason right there.
Silence feminine.
Oh, and Donald Trump. Of course. Republicans, evil.
Perspectives. These punishments, if and when they come, will be meted out by adherents of feminism.
That's right. Yeah. Do what we say or we'll cancel you. Which is basically the same if you were Russian. Do what we say or we're going to put you in the gulag. That's a terrible Russian accent. I'm sorry. Do svidaniya. Vodka. That's a little better.
Trace my steps. I am not woman. I am merely a woman.
That's right. She's a chick. She's a very smart chick.
Only a feminist would be so arrogant as to presume herself the voice of all womankind.
Yeah, but they do, though, don't they, Elizabeth? Well, if women aren't feminists, there's something wrong with them. They're under the evil patriarchy, and they're Christians and shit, and whatever. Yeah, right. And as if women don't have the opportunity to think for themselves. This isn't the Borg. It's not 7 of 9. Women can actually. I know it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy to imagine that women can think for themselves, and the feminists think they shouldn't. Who would be really the oppressive force here? Just wonder, woman wants to be a stay-at-home. Oh, you're not a real woman. You're not a. I thought feminism was about choice, right? I want to choose to do what I want. So I want to stay home. Like, oh my God, no! You're under the evil thumb of a man, chained to the kitchen, pregnant and barefoot. What a bunch of fucking bullshit.
I am a woman, but with my roar, I seek to rein in my crazy sisters.
Well, that is certainly a stretch goal, Elizabeth. It's a really big stretch goal.
feminist theory is amusingly simple. It rests on 4 erroneous assumptions.
Yes.
1, that men are responsible for all of society's ills.
Everybody knows that. Men are evil. Men are toxic. And when men seek knowledge to see what really is going on in the world, well, they're freaking terrorists, for God's sake.
Or environmental degradation, interpersonal conflict, including that done by the women that they have manipulated.
Now, wait a minute. If we're talking about the environment, carbon taxes and footprints and shit, more than half of the country is female. Just saying. Just pointing out that, fact.
2, that women are society's primary victims.
That's right. No, of course. Yes, they are. They're primary victims because they don't get exactly what they want when they want it, and they have to work for what they get. Yes, Charles, give me another martini. Shaken, not stirred, please.
Yet also heroically responsible for all the good in society.
Absolutely. Everything good is female. Everything bad is evil, man.
Including that done by the men they've influenced.
I wonder if say a woman transitions to a dude, is he suddenly an oppressor? Curious about that.
3, men must be penalized, even where ostensibly personally innocent, for the collective guilt of men throughout history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just that's par for the course. You see, fembots believe all this shit. Not only the belief, it's in their fiber. It's in their being. They do not exist without this bullshit that they believe in. If they took a look at reality and even if they were just curious once in a while, right? Hey, you know what? This wage gap thing, I looked at some data. It's really out of the hive, out of the collective.
And 4,
And speaking of cults, what
women must be compensated for their collective victimization throughout history.
of course, give me free shit. It's not just the fembots.
I am a woman. More importantly, I'm a liberal and an individualist. And when I roar.
See that guy? Mike Buchanan. we should go to that video where he sucks down like a quart of vodka. It's great.
Feminism does not speak for me.
That's right. Doesn't speak for anybody. It speaks for a very, very tiny minority. See, like, what did Kaiser Soze say in that movie? The biggest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince you it doesn't exist. Right? The biggest trick feminism ever pulled is conflating feminism with women's rights. I dare you to find even a half dozen people who believe women shouldn't have rights. Women have rights. They have all the rights men do and none of the responsibilities, by the fucking way. Feminism isn't about that. Feminism is a fucking cult. It is a belief in things that do not exist and certainly haven't for decades. And yet here we are, they're still bitching. Well, there's not enough female CEOs. And okay, well then fucking go be a CEO. Well, it's the evil man. Oh, you have to compete against men who naturally are designed by nature to be competitive. Not cooperative, competitive. Destroy your enemy, so to speak. Women aren't like that. We sit here all day. Well, it's because men. That's right, because men fucking compete. We want to be CEO. We destroy people who want to take that spot. We want it. Women, it seems, just want it to be given to them. It's not the way it works. Why do you think the fembots hate capitalism, meritocracy? Because you've got to fight for what you want. It's not given to you. You earn it. Men and women are not the same in that respect.
I am a woman, and I am filled with gratitude, not to feminism that claims responsibility for my freedoms. I am grateful to men. To the men in my life who support and encourage me, to the men who laid down their lives so that we would be free.
You know, it's interesting, and one of the things about history that seems to be forgotten by the fembots, it was men who voted to give women the right to vote. Just saying.
To the men who spend their lives dedicated to making women's lives safer and more rewarding, like John Stuart Mill and the men who elected him on a platform including votes for women, like Dr. Earl Haas, who invented the tampon, and Aruga Chalam Muruga Nathan, who revolutionized menstrual health for poor rural women in India by inventing cheap sanitary pads.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying women couldn't have done that, but they didn't.
And I'm not just grateful to the men who served women's interests. I'm grateful to Khaled al-Assad, a Syrian archaeologist who helped evacuate the City Museum of Palmyra before it fell to the Islamic State.
Oh, yeah, that stuff was going on then too, wasn't it? Let's go to the chat. Is anyone here? Hello, guys. 12 of you. Andrew Thorsten. Hello. IRL Percy. Good to see you. Welcome. Thumper the sweaty fat guy. What's up? I know. Yes. Given the right to vote without the responsibilities. And now, women might have to sign up for the draft. You see, who doesn't want, as a human being, to be honest, who doesn't want all the goodies and not the bad stuff? Oh, we all do. But there's a realization that there is bad shit that we have to deal with, right? Not for women, though. No, they don't have to deal with any of this stuff. Because why? Vagina.
Men showed such courage and sacrifice by refusing to tell Islamic State the location of hidden artifacts that they wanted to destroy. He was beheaded aged 83 in 2015. Never before have so many of us owed so much to one old man. I'm grateful to Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin for taking their small step 50 years ago, a great risk to themselves. That was such a great leap for mankind. I'm grateful to the 14 astronauts and 4 cosmonauts that gave their lives in less successful missions to broaden our horizons.
And does that mean we value the women that had died in the in like Challenger, the explosion? We value them less because they're women? No. But that's what we're supposed to believe. That's what we're supposed. If you value these men, you don't value women. It's just what the fuck. It's so crazy. All right, let's let the computer rest and let's read some chats. Oh, there's no one here. Oh my God, am I bubbling again? Oh no. Let's see, one more real quick. Jolly Heretic. Ever listen to this guy? It's really interesting. But I have to admit, a little goes a long way, if you know what I mean. All right, here we go. This guy is some kind of biologist or something. I don't know.
the virus, really not very nice, as if not more lethal than the Black Death, and no vaccine.
He's talking about some other bad, like Ebola kind of stuff. Yeah, nasty.
Now, it's not amazingly contagious. You get it through sort of blood-to-blood contact, things like that. But the problem with this is that these kinds of viruses evolve to become contagious.
Yeah, they do, but not to the point where they kill all their victims, because that is not beneficial evolutionarily, right? I mean, if a virus is so toxic that it kills everyone it infects, well, then it doesn't survive. So there's a limit. What do I know? I'm not a doctor.
And we know that this has happened with a certain virus that is very popular at the moment. They start off not being particularly contagious, and they evolve to become more contagious.
Probably less deadly, though. Again, I don't know. I don't have the expertise, but one would think that if a certain thing was highly, lethal, it wouldn't survive, right? After all, the entire reason we're here is to reproduce. Just saying, for the most part.
They adapt, and eventually they become airborne. So if we change our behavior, if we
should probably not talk about this, but he does make a point coming up. Hold on. He's an interesting fellow. Let me put the link in here. If you want to, listen, go find his stuff. It's pretty good. Paste. Where's the paste? Killer Hayes. Hello, Killer. What's up? Thank you for coming in last night. Very interesting to hear from you, sir. And Okie Drummer's here. Oh, no. Thumper's here. We should do a car talk. That's always fun talking about cars. I love it. Okay. So there's the link to the Jolly Heretic. Feel free. The vid is not Nurgle Rot. Anyone see the video of the rat taking a swim? Well, I mean, rats. What are you going to do? It's kind of like roaches. Roaches evolved to survive. So you spray them with Raid or whatever, it doesn't work anymore because they have adapted. Kind of the way things do, Let's go here. Let's
start
forward ahead a little bit. Go on.
That is true of all animals, and there is no reason why it wouldn't be true of us. What the Industrial Revolution has done is it has simply allowed this Malthusian cycle, which we've always seen, of rises and falls in population throughout our history, to be sustained so that we can rise much further, because we have created an Industrial Revolution, which meant that the pace of production of food, basically, the ability to has outpaced population growth.
Yep. Cheap food policy in the United States. People got to eat, right? Problem was the government in the 70s supported carbohydrates. Butter is bad. Meat is bad. Eat pasta. Eat garbage food. It's great.
Because of all these.
And what do we have decades later? A bunch of fat people.
Innovations. And so therefore we've created this incredibly easy environment for humans, the easiest environment ever. But eventually, because that is underpinned by our intelligence, and because our intelligence goes into decline, and secondly, because of the other factors this causes, such as very high population density and whatever, eventually we won't be able to sustain that environment. Plus, we'll be very, very genetically sick. Plus, there'll be the very high possibility of major disease outbreaks. So,
because basically we're getting more stupid, right? Can you really deny that? Honestly, I mean, I know it's a corner case example, but I mean, you look at what is it, TikTok or some shit? Remember a few years ago they had the Tide Pod where people were eating Tide Pods. I mean, how fucking stupid do you have to be? Really? Sometimes I think stupidity is rewarded these days. No, that sounds weird, but Well, the more stupid you are in your TikTok, the more views you get. It's crazy.
This will break down. But the
I mean, let's
problem
be
is that
honest.
because we've gone so
Except for me, you know, I'm special, and I determined that the reason my computer is getting so warm is because of my voice. How you doing? I'm sure that's it. I could probably make calculus, for example, entertaining, right? Hey, we could do the derivative here and we could do the integral, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what people are seeking. They're seeking people eating fucking detergent. People snorting. What the hell were they doing a few years ago? The cinnamon thing? Jesus Christ. You ever seen the movie Idiocracy? I think it was 500 years too late. I think we're here.
high, because we've gone so high, we can go very, very low. We will be so genetically sick when the breakdown occurs that the collapse will be absolutely enormous, in which such a high percentage of the population just falls apart.
You know, he's not wrong. I mean, it would just take just a little bit of an ice age, for example. We couldn't grow crops as well. We couldn't get enough food, right? That's all it would take. A few degrees drop, and we're fucking done. That's crazy. We get a comet, you know, or something, or a meteor or some big one, big enough to affect, you know, we could be in an ice age tomorrow. And then what? It's not a pretty thing. You know, humans can be smart. We're kind of smart nowadays. We're certainly not Renaissance men and women, maybe from 100 years ago. They were pretty sharp. We're probably dumber than we were a century ago, but imagine 2 or 3 centuries from now. I wish this was a freaking movie, right? So I could fast forward. You know, obviously we're not going to be here, you know, in 300 years. It'd be interesting though, wouldn't it? To see what actually happens to this whole thing. Now, maybe if I go to heaven or wherever, there's going to be big screen TVs and we could just say, oh my God, I thought this was going to look at this. Likely not though. Likely not.
Such a high percentage of the population are not evolved to deal with basically what in evolutionary terms is real life.
Yeah.
All the skills that would permit them to survive when the collapse happens, such as to farm, to shoot, to do gardening, all these skills, once society becomes dead, are lost. As was seen in the North Korean famine, people like lawyers and doctors and whatever, they were the first to die. They had nothing to offer. They died.
Yeah, he's making a good argument for men and women to learn how to grow food, right? To learn how to survive, to learn to do whatever, water, all that stuff. These skills are being lost, right? You know, you live in a big city, it's like, wow, the food comes from the grocery store and the electricity comes out of the outlet in my house. What do you mean a power plant? What do you mean logistics and trucking and shit? I have no idea. No idea what it takes to stock your grocery store. No idea. They just go on Amazon and they order some shit and it shows up at the door. Do they even have a concept of how it gets here? How does it get from someplace to your house? It just shows up. It arrives. All I got to do is pull up my smartphone here. I got it right there. It's Amazon. Yeah, send me some, and it shows up. What happens when that breaks down? For example, what happens? What happens if your grocery store doesn't have food because of some catastrophe or something like that? What happens? People start getting crazy. Cray. Like, for example, the unfortunate, excuse me, was it Hurricane Ida? Just came through New Orleans, right? You know, people died, there floods and shit, electricity is out forever. What happens? People get crazy.
So what we would see is something like this. You would see you would see not just everything I've already said, but every disease at once attacking us. Measles, everything would come back. Whooping cough, absolutely everything would come back Plus, in the context of war, you might well get a nuclear meltdown because we have nuclear weapons, or a nuclear war. And so what this could mean is that humanity collapses down to numbers that are so low that we can't recover. Or
Yeah, we were almost there, by the way. I'm not sure which year that was, but my understanding is that sometime in prehistory, humans were down to like 20,000 in the world. That's some scary shit right there.
or at least we can't recover civilization. So there's very, very low numbers of Western people. The people that won't be affected by this are going to be those that are not connected to the system, to the broad civilizational system. Hunter-gatherers living in the Amazonian rainforest, hunter-gatherers living in Borneo, people like that. They're not.
And look at Thumper. Thumper, excuse me. Jeez, sorry. Thumper makes his own fuel for his cars. What are we going to do? What are we going to do if the Quick Trip doesn't have any gas? Well, we can walk and take a bicycle. Take you 4 hours to get to the grocery store that doesn't have anything in there because there's no fuel. Do you see how right close to the edge we actually are? I mean, imagine a cataclysm. I don't know, a comet or something, right? Hits and things get really bad. There would be no deer. There would be no rabbits. There'd be nothing. Everyone would have eaten them. I mean, St. Louis, this area is what, a couple million people. How are you going to feed those people if there's nothing? It's fucking scary. I mean, there was the power outage, was it 77? In Canada. Yeah, just the electricity going out was, oh my God. Go ahead. Sorry.
Going to be affected. They're probably not. Why would they be affected by it? They won't be. So they'll be all right. So if that were the case, we'd be back to primitive people and a dark age potentially lasting for thousands and thousands of years.
It's happened before.
There are so-called pseudoscientists who have that this happened before.
Yep.
They said Graham Hancock, people like this, they suggest that this has happened before, that the Sphinx was in fact built about 7,000 years ago, or 8,000 years ago, and that it was the product of a high civilization that existed back then, and that civilization absolutely collapsed. Something appalling happened. It absolutely, totally collapsed.
And this is an interesting theory from Hancock, is that, again, there's been multiple instances of high civilization that have just collapsed. Just got too big. Just things went to hell. You have several years in a row of bad stuff. You can't grow any crops. What the hell are you going to do? Right? We think we're so advanced, and we are to some degree, but if you can't get electricity, you can't run your cell phone. If you can't eat, you can't survive. It's pretty hairy shit, actually.
It is suggested that in many mythologies, this is preserved, the memory of this civilization, as, for example, the Watchers in the Bible, this race of giants that existed on Earth.
Yeah, the giants are actually, I think, Professor Hutton or Dutton will get there eventually. The giants were angels, right? In the Bible, the Watchers, the Garden of Eden, there were the living creatures, is what they were called.
When Adam,
Many people think they're UFOs. I don't know about that.
and Eve were thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Why were they seen as giants? They were assumed to be giants, and they had sex with men, with humans, with mankind, because they could build these amazing things. And these extremely primitive hunter-gatherers, or whatever they were, or pastoralists, assumed that they must have been giants to be able to build these things.
Yeah, Hancock has a lecture somewhere on YouTube. I'll see if I can find it, but it's really interesting. He looks at some of the, Neolithic or Paleo, whatever. There's some of the like Stonehenge or like the pyramids, some of the structures in Greece and Turkey and whatever. That took some serious knowledge. South America, Mexico. Where'd that come from? And where did it go? Interesting.
And what is suggested is that what happened is that you had this tiny remnant of civilization that realized it was all dying out and went around to these hunter-gatherers trying to tell them about, civilization and so forth in an attempt to preserve it. These hunter-gatherers, because they were so amazing, regarded the Watchers and people like this as godlike and worshipped them as gods. This is hemerism. So that they Zeus and people like this were actual people who they perceived to be gods and were remembered as gods, and these giant gods who built these things like the Sphinx and so on. That is, I don't say that's necessarily correct. I think it's highly speculative, but it's certainly a very interesting idea. And that's,
yeah, I mean, if excuse me, if you are in a room full of not so smart hunter-gatherers and you have an IQ of 140, wouldn't you be looked at as a god or an angel? I think so.
That's what we might be left to do as a people. You'd have this tiny remnant of civilization that was left and went around desperately trying to tell hunter-gatherers about things. Interesting idea. But it is certainly possible that humanity could die out as a consequence of flying so high. We are like Icarus, and we have flown too close to the sun.
Yep. I would love to be here in 200 years to see how all this happens. It's going to be fantastic. Christopher Moore. That's the younger Dryas Flood Day. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Christopher, what was the guy? Graham Hancock is the guy's name, I think. Interesting stuff. MJ Garak is the guy wearing a cravat. Oh, why, yes, he is, Charles. He's got a cravat. Yes. Thumpy. I think that's your new name. Thumper, the fat, sweaty guy. If you pulled out the new iPhone, people would freak 300 years ago. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'd be magic, wouldn't it? Absolute magic. Rada, hello. Blessings to you as well. Yeah. Maybe we should, we're rolling, right? Let's find the Graham Hancock stuff. Really interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. That's the crazy thing. Graham, hold on. We're not going to do the whole thing, but let's see what happens here. Computer seems to be okay for the time being. Graham Hancock. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's see. No, I'm not familiar with this channel, so sorry. Yeah. Oh, this might work. Ancient, this will work. Let's see what this sounds like. And then I have to go get a beer. I like beer. Go ahead. No, there we go. And we have an ad. But it's not for me. Oh. It is, because we want to do this. Why wouldn't it? Stop it, hamster. You can't put this out there.
Washer that takes on every last puddle, splatter, and stain. At Best Buy, we've got you covered this Labor Day with the latest
Best Buy,
Samsung washer.
yeah. Okay. I think this is going to get weird in a minute, but okay. Yeah, it's already. But I will. Let's see. Can I link it? This is pretty good. Can we skip the ad? Yeah. Skip, please. Why don't you have ad blocker on? Well, that's a good point.
Good afternoon, folks. It's good to see you all here, and it's good to be here. And if I collapse on stage from a heart attack, don't be too surprised, because I got in at midnight last night with hours of jet lag, and I'm feeling a bit floaty at the moment. But I'll do my best. I'll do my best to keep it all together. The texts from many different cultures say that it's an incredible privilege to be born in a precious human body and to live on this beautiful gem, this garden, this delight of a planet. What a gift we were all given when we were given the opportunity to incarnate here, now, on this planet, at this time. We live at a crossroads. There's no doubt. We all feel it. We all know it. There's something coming down the track, and we have to figure out how we're going to respond to that, how we're going to turn it into an opportunity for growth rather than an opportunity for destruction. I don't think it's the first time that mankind has stood at such a crossroads, but here we are now facing it and hopefully dealing with it. The incredible, the speaking to us in riddles down the ages. This
Gotta love those Egyptians, though.
Majestic.
They left us a lot of shit to think about, didn't they? It was great.
Monument. And the pyramids themselves. My wife Santha took all of these photographs. She and I have been privileged to.
That's a nice picture. I like that. Yeah, that's good. Let's let the computer cool down a little bit. Let's go to the chat. Let's see here. Killer Hayes, Christopher Moore. You familiar with the Book of Enoch? Isn't that what they did in that movie, Killer? With what's his name? And they had and what's her face? And they had to go and he was the only guy who had that book. Can't remember what the name of that was. Let's see who else is here. MJ Garak is the one. Yeah, the cravat. Yes. Actually, that reminds me of the Carly Simon song. You watched yourself, Gavat, and all the girls think that they'd be your partner. Let's see. It's the computer's getting a little weird here, guys. So hold on. Christopher Moore, the Sphinx is a spin-off of Lamassu, which is a cherubim. Human head, lion body, eagle wing. Oh, okay. Interesting. Ayulame. Damn, we just spoke about populations losing IQ points, and now you guys get into unsubstantiated and highly speculative ancient nonsense. Well, it doesn't hurt to listen to ideas. I mean, let's just not, why would you prevent yourself from listening to other stuff? I don't know. I think it's interesting. I mean, even if it's bullshit, I still find it interesting. All right. Are we cool enough? Andrew Thorsten, beer's good. Yes. You ever read that? What was that book? Beowulf, where they had all the mead halls and stuff. Yes. Even those ancient Norwegians, they like their mead. Yes. Drink. Be merry, for tomorrow you may die.
Visit Egypt, times beyond counting. There is something truly magical and mysterious about that site. It is a very special place on the world. It isn't the only special place.
You guys think this guy's full of bullshit? I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting to discuss, maybe. Mead is made from honey. That is correct, Easy. And the Norwegians loved it. Yeah, what is that movie, Kill Hayes? I don't know, man. Son of a... It was... let me look it up on the side here while the computer cools off. Write a book. Movie. Oh, wait. Hold on. Movie. No, maybe it was just the Bible that the man had. Let's see here. It was a good movie, actually. It was what's her face? The Russian girl with the two weird colored eyes. Oh God. I was gonna say Mira Sorvino, but no. It's the other one. The Black Swan chick. Not the what's oh my God. Here we go. That's the way that works. Let's see. Bible movie. One man. Boom. What was it? God, I don't know that movie. It was Denzel. Was it Denzel Washington? I think it was. Yeah. Washington. Book of Eli. Yes. That was a good movie. And I think the idea was this guy for his whole life was trained to memorize the Bible, right? And there was all this dystopian shit going on and everything. And he gets to the sanctuary place and then he writes down the Bible. So it was pretty good. It's a good movie. Yeah, let's see here. Here's the wiki. A post-apocalyptic neo-Western action film. Mila Kunis, thank you. Gary Oldman was the bad guy because he's a good bad guy. He's good at that. The story revolves around Eli, a nomad in a post-apocalyptic world, who is told by a voice to deliver his copy of a mysterious book to a safe location on the West Coast. It was the Bible. It's good stuff. Yeah, you should look at that. It's pretty good. Let's see here. Let me paste that in here. Yeah, Mila Kunis. Damn. Yeah, look up Jaded by Aerosmith. She's in that video. Thumper. Just show her your Pontiac. Damn. Oh, you did see it, Killa. Yeah. Was he blind? I didn't know that either. But he memorized the entire Bible and delivered it. So that was fun. All right. I got to go get some lunch, you guys. We'll do some more conspiracy shit later. All right. Thank you for coming. I'll see you guys later.